Let's be real. Most of us lose focus on our New Year's resolutions. It's not just about the system that's broken, it's us. We set these really big goals, but life gets in the way, and before we know it, February rolls around and resolutions are a distant memory. But what if this year could be different? What if AI could step in as your personal accountability partner, track your progress, nudge you back on course, and even adapt your plan when things don't go as expected? 2025 isn't about doing more, it's about doing it smarter. And AI isn't here to replace us, it's here to help us succeed. So if you're ready to finally stick to those resolutions and redesign your reality, let's get into it. All right, so welcome back to another episode on Embers Rising, number 41. I'm your host, Wendy J, and here with me is my amazing husband, running partner, and ultimate adventure teammate, David Tucker. Yay!
And I get to say I'm the host too. I guess this is the last episode of the year, Wendy, which is pretty exciting that we managed to go from 0 to 41 episodes in, 18 months, something like that.
That is pretty exciting, yeah. Today we're going to shake things up and do a different episode than we've ever done before. And we're really going to talk about how 2025 can be your year and the year that you stop playing small and you actually start thinking bigger and work smarter with AI as a game-changing partner. This isn't just another conversation about the future, like everybody talks about. It's really about staying ahead of it. And most people aren't really talking about what's coming. We're in conversations right now that people are kind of being still quiet about AI, but you will be talking after you listen to this. So stick around because we're not just going to be talking about next year. We're mapping out where AI is taking us all the way through 2029. Spoiler alert. It's massive and it's packed with opportunities and you can't afford to miss this episode. So let's dive in.
And so this is an interesting episode because I think you know how I feel about New Year's resolutions, right? And I will just say that so Wendy doesn't have to put the explicit tag on this episode. I'm not a big fan of them, and I'm not a big fan of them because they generally don't work.
Yeah.
And they generally don't work. It's because you have some sort of temporary motivation as opposed to having a why, right? Having a must. And that's the thing that really drives you to the end. That's why 97% of all diet plans ultimately fail in the long run. But I'm excited because when you have an accountability partner such as AI or your husband or your internal motor, you tend to actually succeed.
So this episode is totally packed, so full of so many things that I really want to get into it. But before we do, I think that I really need to acknowledge our listeners because without our listeners, we wouldn't be here without you guys. And I really want to get this shout out done. And I only have put 2 shout outs together because we have so much to cover. So shout out to everyone, first of all, listening right now. If you've hit play, it's because you're ready to do more than just make goals. You're ready to reimagine what's possible. And I really want to get into it. So can I jump into just 2? I only brought these 2 in, Dave.
I like it.
Because we have so much. And wouldn't you know it, right when I open up my shout out document, it's asked me to sign in. This is just crazy.
So we actually do this stuff sort of real time.
It's live.
It's organic. And these are the types of tricks that when you program them into AI, it makes it seem like it's real.
Thank you for that, Dave. So we have surpassed now 40 episodes, including now this one that is now that's in your ears now. I'm super excited about that. And we had a couple of shout outs from Justin and Jess who said, woohoo, congrats on 40. Thank you so much. And then we had a reel about an upcoming episode, number 34. If you hadn't listened to 34, it's all about finding your next year before the holidays and doubling down on making recovery non-negotiable. Now we're past the holidays, but still, it's very valid about talking about making recovery non-negotiable. And we had a couple cool shout outs, and I'm just going to handpick these because there were so many comments here. It looks like 20-25 comments here. So I'm just going to go through this. Fabrizio_coach says, I need to make recovery non-negotiable. Thanks for the reminder. You're welcome. And digital.priyanish says, yes, without proper recovery, long-term growth becomes much harder to sustain. Couldn't agree with you more. And Robust Physical Therapy says, love the focus on resilience and prioritizing recovery. So essential to finish the year strong and stay grounded. Absolutely. Yeah. And Natty_creator says the holidays can be such a whirlwind, but making space for resilience and rest is a game changer. So I love that. And Those are the only ones I'm going to share, Dave, because we have so much to share and
I
dive
know,
into
and
this.
I love that episode, and I love those sorts of comments because if you're an athlete, you know you don't make the gains in the gym or on the trail. You make
Yeah.
them in recovery and rest, right?
Yeah.
Like we all know, if you're an athlete, you're actually tearing your body up. You're tearing it down during the activity, and so if you don't give yourself proper rest in that space, you end up overexerting yourself, you get injuries, and you don't grow. And I think that's true for like everything in life. You need to spend some time recovering. So that's the end of this episode. I'm going to go take a nap.
So diving into this, usually we share with you all what we're doing for our training plan. We kind of have this rhythm of format of what things that are upcoming for shares that we're going to say. Dave, do you have any upcoming shares that you wanted to shout out?
We're here at the end of the year, and so I am just super stoked about a lot of our business things that are winding up and are doing very, very well at this point. Also, we're in this planning season right now. We always sit down with our big ass calendar. Thank you, Jesse Itzler, and start to just work on like those big pieces of the puzzle that have to happen. And I know I'm excited about the Rim to Rim Grand Canyon. I'm excited about Ironman. I'm excited about some of our travels and just making things grow this year. So
Yeah.
I guess this isn't, for most people, this is a rest period. For us, this is an opportunity to actually plan our work and our rest.
Yeah, when we're not on the trails as much, meaning, we're putting in 5 or 6 hours of trail time, run time on our feet, each week.
And I got to say, it's like in the teens or 20s.
Yeah.
So yeah, for Christmas, I got some new warm, fuzzy stuff, but not the type of slippers and robe that you'd normally have. It's the stuff that you can actually use out on the trail. And I'm excited that I have it. And I'm also not excited that I have to use it.
Put it on.
I do the work, right? You got to just do the work, whatever shows up.
Well, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. So there's just so many things, Dave. It's just like, I really want to dive into this. We, on another episode in the beginning of the year, we're going to tell you what we've actually been doing over the last few months as far as our business goes, because I don't think we've really broken that down. I know you all know about our Speak to Connect program, but you probably don't know about iLuca Media or a little bit more robust where I'm going to actually interview David, which you didn't know. I'm going to interview you on sharing us at the beginning of the year for Short Star Video. We want to learn more about what Short Star Video can do for entrepreneurs, business owners, organizations, ad managers, ad agencies, or just anyone that's like looking for these video ad services. So,
and I'm just going to throw in there my long-term agency that I'm partners with my brother in.
Yeah,
has celebrating 30 years. In business. Is that incredible?
That's awesome.
And in the last 30 days, we completely revamped it and turned it into an AI marketing agency. We're still accomplishing the same things in both paid and organic, but man, we've made the jump, right? It's time. It's such an incredible tool to be able to deliver more value and service for the same amount of price, right?
Yeah. Well, let's get into this. If you didn't know, Dave and I have been going through an AI advanced mastery class with Mindvalley called AI Mastery. And we have been in this class for 4 months, and it's wrapped up. And we are starting to now deliver all the information that we have learned, and we're executing on all of the tools ourselves over the next 90 days so that we can deliver that and be better for you and businesses. So when I actually put this episode together, David, I was thinking about what are the mind shifts that we all need to adopt, because I'm really tapped into the artificial intelligence marketing team out there that's delivering a lot of this high information of what's happening and moving through all these spaces of all the AI leaders here. And so I thought, to really simplify this for those that are listening, like it can be overwhelming. What really are the 4 mind shifts that can redesign your reality for 2025? So this is where we're going to start, if it's okay with you.
It is. And I'm just going to interrupt real quickly
here,
as I always do, right?
Yeah, you always do.
So I think we have a real sort of like red pill, blue pill moment in society when it comes to AI. And red pill being, if you're a Matrix fan, the uncomfortable truth. And the blue pill being blissful ignorance, right? And I think most people are in the blue pill
Yeah.
space when we talk to them. And I was looking at a recent survey that said more than 75% of Americans, I knew it was American based, are fearful of AI in 2025. And what do you think the number one reason is that people were fearful?
Unknown. Just unknown.
Unknown actually came up number 4.
Okay.
We're Americans, right? And what do we value more than many other things, seemingly?
Freedom.
Money.
Oh, I was gonna say freedom.
People were mostly, freedom. It's in there, but it was money, right? Money was number one. Am I going to lose my job? And, are things going to change? The second one, and I think this is just human nature, is loss of control, right? We've all seen the Terminator type movies, and we're like, ooh, that's what AI is, which it isn't. There are some valid concerns around privacy, the unknown, and deep fakes, right? And we've had some personal experiences with deep fakes, not directly, but through someone else who that's a story to be told, right? But
Yeah.
lost close to $1 million for a company because of an AI-generated deep fake. And then a lot of people talk about the existential risk, right? Like this is the doomsday machine. And so those are sort of the things that I think, I know we're not going to cover all of those today, but I think you need to wipe that aside and really change your mindset and maybe spit out the blue pill and start to take the red pill just for at least this episode.
Okay, that's good. Well, let's move into this mind shift number 1, because that does tie into what we're talking about. And I really want to say mind shift number 1 is really seeing AI as your partner for growth. And think about, and when I say that, I say think about your typical workday. What can you do? What are the repetitive tasks, the emails, the scheduling, the creating content that you're doing that an AI could take over for you? Now, imagine when you're living in a world where you're brainstorming your next big idea, you're spending time with your clients, you're spending time with your employees, you're spending time with your kids, you're spending time on your health, and an AI and assistant is behind the scenes doing all those things for you. That's really powerful. But it doesn't stop there. AI can manage your team's schedule, keep projects on track, automate tasks, monitor deadlines. If you work with freelancers, it can simplify the onboarding tracking process. It can handle payments, really saving your admin team a lot of hours. And, beyond that, AI right now is already in optimization of inventory in retail, predicting demand on and reordering stock automatically. That's happening. Healthcare is working on it in scheduling patient appointments and reminders, and even assisting in creating eventually personalized treatment plans. So the possibilities are really endless. And the whole point of this isn't just about saving time. It's also about transforming the way we work. And AI frees us to focus on what matters most. This may shock you, David, but the thing that frees it to do most is creativity, innovation, and connection. Creativity, innovation, and connection. That's what we need to be focusing on. And also, this is a great plug I want to share for our Speak to Connect program, because Speak to Connect is all about communication. And this is where AI is still learning communication. And you as a human being can master the art of communication by understanding the unique ways that people think, feel, and respond. And you'll adapt your messaging as you're working through people when you have that maximum viewpoint of clarity and impact. So whether you're sharing an idea, working with a team, working directly with your partner in a marriage, in a family, you can navigate through tough conversations when you know that person's Speak to Connect profile. And you can probably attest that that's pretty much it. So the Speak to Connect is like, what did you call it? The cheat code or even a toolkit for building your meaningful connections in an AI-driven world. And we want to invite you into that program because we're always running cohorts throughout the season. So if you have a chance to jump in and there's an opening, we would love for you to be part of our group. And of course, we'd love a badass testimonial.
No kidding. And I do call it the cheat codes, right?
Yes.
But the cheat codes allow you to actually advance in the game of life and communication much quicker.
Yeah.
It's not like a shortcut in terms of like cheating, right? People always think of that. It's just a nice way of putting it, right? Because if you never get to the next level, you stay stuck, right, in that game. Frogger. Now you know how
Yeah.
old I am, trying to get to that next level. So for me, it's been a game changer because I know what I need to work on. And it's so interesting that we're married. And the thing I need to work on most is your highest communication channel,
Yes.
which is my least energetic communication channel. It's funny how those things work.
It is. So anyway, Speak to Connect, check it out. But something, also we've been going through the AI mastery. And if you don't know Vishen Lakhiani, he's the co-founder of Mind Valley. And we were in a private session with him in a couple of weeks ago. And he really talked about where AI is evolving into this agentic intelligence. And this is talking about acting like an autonomous teammate. So using AI as agents who can already do running social media campaigns, who can create creative assets, videos, posts, who are headlining customer service, who are cutting response times down from days to minutes. So this is really big deal. So when we're talking about really shifting your mind shift for AI and growth, that's what we're talking about. Because 2025, AI won't just assist, it's going to actually act as independent for you to free you to focus on what you do best. And I think that's really powerful to think of it that way.
Absolutely.
Instead of just like the tool. So I did write a little action prompt down, and I have action prompts for each of these mind shifts for all of us to kind of like, as a takeaway, think about what we could do. But here, an action prompt for you is really to identify one repetitive task in your life or business that AI can actually start taking over for you. And if you're like, I'm not sure what it can do, start experimenting with tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Anthropic. Any of those can start helping you or even work on building your own custom AI assistant. I mean, that's what it's all about.
And we both have our own personal ChatGPTs.
We do. We have a lot of
that
custom
are created
GPTs.
around like our DNA, what we believe in, our mission, our relationship, our communication styles, and then have a lot of different documents stacked inside those knowledge areas that are relevant to what we do. And so it's so great to sit down and actually talk to yourself, right? Because we're all doing that in our heads all the time, but you get it out on the screen very quickly, and you don't start with this like 0-shot blank screen where it's just pulling random stuff out of the air. It's actually pulling your DNA out of your head so you can, ideate in a much bigger way.
Yeah, custom GPTs could be a whole episode because that's a whole episode. By the way, jump on our newsletter if you haven't had a chance, because we are giving away prompt banks that we have spent time, money, and energy with high-level leaders, and we're giving those prompts away. There's also a paid vault and there's also a free vault, but get in there because that stuff is releasing, and we would love for you to make sure you have those free prompts out there. So I know it's going to be out there, but right now it's like in our insider group in the newsletter. So check it out. But some ideas I wanted to share with it and some real life examples, if you're kind of like, I'm not really sure where to get started, is now might blow your mind, David, but I actually just recently, and I know you're going to be surprised that I'm sharing this, I actually used a custom GPT to help me look and analyze at my recent blood tests and help me track some health metrics. Now, I've been doing my blood tests annually for a solid, since 2017, really, 2016.
And
somewhere in
generally,
there.
I would say sometimes it's twice a year for you because you've had some health challenges.
For sure.
So there was like this stack
Paperwork.
of paperwork and lab tests, and they're from different labs. So a lot of them are measuring the same things. Some of them are unique, but all of the documents look different.
Yeah.
But one of the things that people may not know about like AI and especially GPT is it has eyes, right? You can just scan that document, upload it, and it, boom, reads it immediately.
Yeah. So that's been really helpful. I don't think it's there on the personalized side yet. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. But I was able to have it make recommended actionable lifestyle changes for me. I was able to help talk to it about optimizing my sleep, my stress management, supplements that I can take. What are the best supplements out of 15 options? What are the very best one? Who's doing the best quality control? And I'm not saying that this is X out your primary. I'm just saying I'm using it in addition to, I hate to say it, but I'm actually using it in addition to Inside Tracker, who I am actually a membership with. And of course I have my primary and I'm getting their results as well and kind of cross-referencing everything. But this is a great start. So if you haven't even thought about that, you could totally do it. One of the benefits of Inside Tracker was it was able to take all of my blood tests and actually put them in a tracking format where your primary probably does not have an app to do that for you. So I was looking for something that I should read the data so I could see a trend. I needed to see a curve line of what's working for the past 10, 15 years instead of going one document. How would any of us keep track of that?
So you end up with, 20 different blood labs. And once you upload them all, you can say,
this is consistent.
Yeah, pick specific hormones. What's the trend been,
Yeah.
right? And what does that mean in relationship to, something else, maybe a supplement, maybe some other, blood marker. And then just give me like your best estimate as to what that could mean, right? It's not a doctor. We're not saying replaces a doctor.
For sure not. Yeah.
But it has like more information than your doctor's head could ever have.
it was impressive.
And, for me, I am positively skeptical when it comes to doctors, right? And that's my own health journey because they recommended one thing without saying there was an alternative. And when you find the alternative on your own, you're like, I don't need those pills, doc. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm actually going to do the work.
So when I mentioned that, like I said, this first mind shift, I can't say that word, David. I'm on mindset. Mind shift is all about using AI as a partner in growth. And so that's why I mentioned this.
I'm just going to ideate a little bit on positively skeptical, right? And I think
For
that's
sure.
where we all need to be when it comes to AI because most of us grew up with this mindset that seeing is believing. And that's no longer true, right? There are so many ways to alter facts or just fabricate reality. And I think that scares a lot of people. But if you're positively skeptical, right? And you're not like, I hate all of it, but don't just take everything at face value, you're going to get ahead a lot quicker in terms of your adaptation of the tools and how you work with them, right? And I think this is going to hugely impact social media. And I don't think it's going to be in a positive way because we all see now that AI can put out massive amounts of content with a click of a button. And I think we're all eventually in the next, 36 months going to just become tired of it. We're going to become tired of the automated nature of AI. And I don't know what it will morph into, but I know what you can do to actually rise above all of that. And that is real video is going to become like the de facto most important piece of communication in the social media channel. And that's me or you sitting down in front of the camera and saying, hey, not AI, this is me, and this is what's going on, because AI will never have that authentic human connection.
The human spirit does.
Right? It's just like it's a transfer of energy when I look into the camera and talk to you that AI will just never be able to replicate in my lifetime anyway.
Yeah.
At some point in time, maybe, but we even saw the Jetsons, right? Rosie the robot. She had a personality, sort of, but she was still Rosie the robot.
Yeah, very good point.
And some people out there are like, Jetsons? How old is that guy?
Okay, well, to help us keep on track, I just want to dive into a couple other examples for using AI as your partner in growth. You can, throw out your finances and help it have them, the prompt optimize finances for you, track expenses, predict cash flow. You can have it do team coordination for managing teams, scheduling tasks, assigning tasks, monitoring deadlines, suggest ways to improve productivity. We've used it for like a travel concierge, like, hey, I'm going to Bali. What do I need to pack? Use it as a household assistant, say, hey, could you make some suggested meal plans for me? And make a shopping list based on these meal plans. Or could you help me find discounts to save money? Learning and development. If you're learning a skill, use AI as a tutor to help you tailor your lessons, present a progress for you, add a quiz for you. Parenting help. AI can create personalized learning activities, track milestones, help manage school schedules seamlessly. So those are a microchip of what is possible out there. Micro. I mean, what I'm listening to on other podcasts right now that I'm really into it is much bigger than what I'm sharing right now. So these are like micro little nuggets I wanted to share with you.
Love it.
Okay.
And we all know the robots are coming, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rosie the robot.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is already working on the think, second generation of what Rosie the Robot is. I heard that the cost, they're shooting for somewhere around $20,000-ish, right, for your own mini human robot. I don't know how it's going to get up the stairs, but I guess it will. Or maybe that's where you hide from it. But those will be interesting times, and we're all going to be surprised when we see them until we're not, right? Until there's so many, it's just like, oh, there's just another one.
Well, there's a lot. If this was just a news episode, there's a lot I could share with you, but I really want to stay on track for our listeners and not get too derailed. I know that you guys have busy lives and you need to get going, and I really want to help David super monofocus here. So mind shift number 2 is about creating human connections powered by AI. And I want to talk about imagining a world where technology isn't just confined to screens. Instead, it's in your home, it's in your workplace, even in your hands, exactly what David's talking about. Picture robots like Rosie the Robot from the Jetsons that don't just follow commands, but understand emotions, respond intuitively, and adapt to your needs. This isn't sci-fi, folks. This is a reality. And we're stepping into this by 2027. This is predicted for 2027. So this is not too far away, for just a couple of years away. And what Vishen Lakhiani had shared in our last meeting with him, by 2027, he said embodied AI, physical robots equipped with emotional intelligence, will become a mainstream part of our lives. So you can only imagine the Walmart version, Dave. So, here's what's already on the horizon, what they're working on. If you don't know, AI toys for kids is what they're going to start with. These toys will tell interactive stories, recognize and adapt to child's emotions, and create personalized learning experiences. Imagine a toy that notices when your child feels frustrated and shifts to a calming activity or offers encouragement. That is a game changer. What? Amazing. We're talking about humanoid robots capable of cooking your meals, recognizing guests are at your door, even sensing a subtle emotional cue like the stress or excitement by analyzing your skin tone or body temperature. Imagine coming home to a robot that not only sets the table, but also senses you had a rough day and adjusts the lighting, the music to kind of help you chill out. That's incredible. That's just crazy.
Wow. It can do more than a husband.
So the takeaway here is, the embodied AI will blur the lines between technology and human connection. Fundamentally, though, changing how we live, learn, and interact. So this isn't just tech evolving. It's also tech becoming more human. That's the big key there. And the action, that prompt that I really want our listeners to take away here is reflect on where physical AI could add value to your life. Could it take over tasks at home so you have more time to focus on what matters most? Spending time with your kids, taking care of your health, working on your dream projects, becoming a musician, doing those rehearsals, whatever you need to do. Could it provide companionship for someone who's in need, sitting at a senior care home, that's sitting there, that's lonely, that's sad, that needs a companion, or maybe it sparks some new ideas in a way you haven't yet imagined, that you want to present to the world that's been deep back in your mind. And you're like, man, I just need this assistant to really help me take it to the next level. So that's my action prompt on Mind Shift number 2.
I like it. Let's move on to number 3.
All right, Mind Shift number 3, building your meta skills for AI-driven world. So AI is evolving at lightning speed. We all know that. And not just mastering technical tasks, but learning to read emotions through subtle cues like skin temperature and blood flow is huge. But here's the thing. Understanding emotions isn't the same as feeling them. And that's where the gap is. That's where we, as humans, have the edge. And in an AI-driven world, the key to thriving isn't competing with the machines. It's doubling down on what makes us human. And I think that is just gives me chills. What Vishen shared with us, and I wrote this down in our class, was by 2029, AI will surpass the collective intelligence of humanity. It will be capable of recognizing emotional states through data like skin temperature changes and facial heat maps. But the ability to truly connect with people, to lead with empathy and build meaningful relationship still remains a uniquely human skill set. So here are the meta skills you really need to develop. And I wrote 3 of them down, and this also came from Vishen as I was working on this. Number 1 is adaptability. Adaptability. AI evolves constantly, and the faster you can adjust to new tools and changes, the more valuable you're going to become in any field that you are working in. So example is quickly integrating AI into your tools, into your workflows, and staying competitive as much as possible. That is number 1, adaptability. Number 2, creativity. Think of AI as a co-creator with you. Use it to brainstorm ideas, design solutions, and push creative boundaries in ways that really weren't possible before. Now we have this like bigger edge. So example is partnering with an AI to generate unique marketing campaigns or art projects or music projects. You are making this as a partner. Now you're like, oh, it's not just a tool. It's actually a partner. Help me co-create.
I love the entertainment angle.
Oh, you love it. And Dave's great.
Wendy mentioned that because I cannot find the D chord on a guitar. So I'm just saying I'm not musical, but I have found AI generated music. And it's funny because it taps into the one of my skills that is really good. I've been an SEO, I've been the optimization guy for a long time. And it turns out music is very keyword driven, especially in an AI world. And so I'm able to write amazing songs that are so personalized, right? I get goosebumps when I hear it. It's still early, but it's so personal that it's just fun. So,
yeah,
movies are going to go that way too, where you really can, in the not too distant future, and the studios are already working on this, create a customized movie just for movie night. Sit down and
for yourself.
What genre do you want it to be? What do you want to happen? You put in some keywords and themes and characters, and then a look-alike audience or product, and boom, you've got your own personalized movie. And I wonder what the licensing will be on that. There'll be a lot of opportunities there.
So, and going back to meta skills, number 3 is EQ, emotional intelligence. AI can detect emotions, but it doesn't feel them. So your ability to connect deeply, lead empathetically, and understand the needs of others is and will be your superpower. That is really big. So building trust and fostering collaboration in an AI-enhanced team environment will be the superpower that is still needed today. So don't write yourself off when you're saying, I don't have a job. Change your direction. Embrace this in a big way. AI is powerful and it starts as a tool, but it becomes so much more. So when you collaborate with an AI as a partner, it amplifies your ability to adapt, create, and connect. In an increasingly AI-driven, fast-paced world, we are starving for those things. We are starving for connection. We are starving for creation. And these are uniquely human qualities that sets us apart from robots. So I recently had a friend tell me, Dave, that he hated AI. And that is, if that's you, it's probably because you're not knowing how to use the AI. So his situation was he hired someone to write blog posts for his specific niche out there. And every blog post came back not exactly what he wanted, did not relay the message. And it had a lot of typos and it just didn't have the right voice. So it's not like you didn't hate AI. What you're going back to is, how was the AI programmed for you? And what do you have to train what its output's going to be.
Yeah, and a lot of people are just using ChatGPT natively right out of the box, right?
Right.
And that's where you get a lot of mismatches in terms of, like, if you're using it for business.
Right.
What we do with our clients now is we create a custom GPT for them and their team to use that has all the content they've ever written, their mission statement, their brand, and then the instructions of like where we're going. So when one of their people sit down to write a blog post, it automatically like boots up their DNA and it works out a lot better. The final product is a lot better, including like the document that tells it to detune the grammar just a little bit.
Yeah.
So that the search engines are like, oh, this looks like it's real. So
yeah. So number 3, I think it's important to just pick one of the meta skills to focus on for this next year and start practicing it. Choose adaptability, choose creativity, choose emotional intelligence, EQ. Practice those and really get good at it so that you can be that human connection still in between the AI world. So, we're talking about adaptability, practice scenario thinking by planning responses to various future challenges. We're talking about creativity. Use generative AI to pitch your creative projects forward, whether it's designing art, music, automation, solving problems, brainstorming, apps, what have you. Dedicate time each week to learn and get involved with the creativity of AI. And then the EQ part, emotional intelligence, practice active listening and empathy in your daily interactions. And you might think I'm crazy for saying that. We don't do that today. And so many people need to like stop talking and just listen. And then I was on a podcast today with Jeffrey Allen and Hisami. Incredible podcast they just released called, I want to say, Spirit of Mind. I will find it and post it on my YouTube channel for you because you guys are amazing. And you were talking about living in the spirit mind versus the material mind. And what you talked about, Jeffrey, was incredible because you said I was really upset about something, and I really wanted to say something to Hisami, but instead of me like just blurting it out, he didn't. Jeffrey held back and he said, how would that affect her? Before I actually say it, what is it going to make her feel and what the outcome is I actually going to get before I actually speak it? He says, because I was really upset about it. And then I was like, that really doesn't make any sense for me to say that. And that's what I'm talking about. We all don't slow down enough, Dave, to actually slow down and say before we speak, we just blurt. And then it's like, ooh, I shouldn't have maybe said it that way, and geez. So when we're talking about reflecting on before you actually share, that would be a really good idea to start practicing. And if you don't know Jeffrey Allen, check him out. He has a great program. I think it's called Awaken the Mind. It's living between the two worlds. And like now is the perfect time. I'm so grateful that he launched a podcast. I wish he would have done this years ago, but man, Jeffrey, you rock star that you're out there doing that. So those guys are great.
Awesome. And we all know the people that speak in spray paint, right? That just like,
right.
It comes to their head, it comes out, and it's unfiltered.
Like graffiti.
And yeah, they just spray paint, their communication. Speak to Connect may help you start to rethink that.
Yeah, Speak to Connect program.
Hey, every time I get a chance to plug something we do, so
it's one of our
it's our podcast.
It's one of our most sold out programs. So please jump in because we would love to have you in there. So let's dive into mind shift number 4: turning fear into opportunity with AI. And this is what David started with at the very beginning of this episode, talking about how many things were they fearful? Was it a list of like 20, 15?
So AI probably produced the article and they probably told it to come up with the top 15 points. So I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But it was an actual research document by Pew, something like that. So, we know those people are using AI like to collect and make that real time. But I believe it, right? Like it made total sense.
For sure. And I just want to share that, all of the leading tech companies that are out there with the AIs right now, they are creating and creating and creating and creating and creating. And the problem with that is that we as humans are having a hard time catching up. We're talking and working with Fortune 500 companies and CEOs doing it right now that they aren't racing at mastering the most advanced AI tech because it's so much. It's an overwhelming amount. But they're laser focused on integrating the basics right now. How can they cut off time on their customer service, like Mind Valley had done? How Vision had made a huge pivot to work with another company to drive his time frame for customer service. So it's really not about reinventing the wheel at this point. It's really about incorporating the AI basics in a practical, impactful way for your business. So don't be afraid of it. Actually embrace what you can do. That's the most important. And listen, if you don't know even where to even get started, this is where Dave and I come in with our agency, iLuca Media. This is where we're helping people actually make the shift in massive business growth using a lot of AI direction because we are on top of what's happening right now. So if you don't even know what to get started, please DM us out there or head over to our website, ilucamedia.com.
And I think AI is the ultimate scaling tool, right?
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Whatever it is you want to do. It just ideates and solves and crunches data at such an extraordinary rate that the truth is jobs are going to be lost, right? And if your job has to do with like data crunching, like if you're an accountant, I would learn AI because you will actually be able to be the one that applies AI and keep your job. But stuff like that, just numbers, is going to be
it's mind-blowing.
The realm of AI and things like that. It will just take them over very quickly.
Yeah, I was on a podcast today where they're talking about where AI will be so integrated into our phones that all the apps will be connected just through the one AI. So, if you want to make a DoorDash, it'll already jumpstart the app and work through the process for you, and you don't have to go actually into the app. So it'll already be automatically on your phone to roll that.
Those integrations are coming,
Yeah,
right? Like
for sure. It'll be natural though for you. You won't even know it. It's happening in the back end. If you want to know your, let's say, balance in your bank account, you'll use AI to automatically go into the app and get what you need. It's happening for sure. It gives me chills. I'm excited. But I mean,
it does for sure.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, AI is a little intimidating right now because it's so future and it feels like it's unknown. It's evolving very fast, and it might seem like it's poised to take over everything, like the movies. But, here's the truth. AI isn't here to replace us. It's really here to collaborate with us, amplify our potential, and make life better. It can help solve a lot of world challenges and even our own challenges in our own country, our state, our community, our families. So I'm really excited about that. I wrote this one other thing, Dave, that I want to share. What Vishen had shared with us in that last call was by 2029, AI will be smarter than the combined knowledge of all humans. This sounds huge, but it's actually a chance for us to solve problems we couldn't solve before. And that's what I'm talking about. So examples what AI is going to be able to help us with is healthcare, finding cures for diseases and creating personalized treatment plans. We need that. Climate change, using AI to save energy and help build more sustainable lifestyles on our planet, and everyday life, helping people manage our schedules, our tasks, and even learning new skills faster. That's all going to happen. In fact, and I don't know how to say his last name, but I think it's Mike Capote on the Marketing Institute shares that OpenAI is making a really big push into education right now. And the latest is that they're offering K through 12 teachers, basically called ChatGPT Foundations for Educators, designed to help teachers incorporate ChatGPT into their classrooms. It's like a 1 hour long session, and it has apparently already been deployed in quite a dozens of schools right now. And according to OpenAI, this is happening. So it's not really, I'm going to be fearful of it. It's time to embrace it. And that's why I say, AI isn't replacing people. It's really teaming up with us to do things. When Vishen talked about shifting his entire customer service over to this other company that was part driven with AI agents, I mean, he didn't save money, but he saved on his time.
Right.
He didn't.
He saved on the value, or he
Right.
increased the value and time to response, right? And we've all been on hold before. And the quicker you can get someone off of hold or get them an answer and a solution, the better you're going to be.
My question is when is the IRS going to actually make that change?
So the IRS is working on a software platform that is back in your dad's days. What did your dad program?
Right.
ACH,
Yeah, ACH.
that sort of stuff. It's that old.
It is.
And
legacy.
And
legacy.
yeah, when they AI it, like, I think it'll be game over, right?
Yeah.
In terms of fooling the system. Numbers are its realm. So
it will be really weird to go get your dental cleaning with a robot hygienist, who's just there doing your hygiene. You're like, last time you were a little bit, too rough on me. Can you make it a little easier this time? And they'll be like, yeah, no problem.
I'm a business person. I mean, like, AI cleaning, $90, human cleaning, $140. I'm like,
Right.
I'll upsell to the human.
Right.
I think one of the biggest things that humans believe in is that our ideas are important, right? And that we get paid for our ideas. And I think that has been true in the past, right? That was the revolution that created the United States, was ideas. But you said something, by 2029, all of mankind's knowledge will be in AI, right?
Yeah.
And all the ideas will already be thought of. So the most valuable thing is going to become dropping your ego, stop worrying about your ideas, and start worrying on action and execution. And whatever that means to you, taking action has always been what has driven your life forward monetarily, relationship, health-wise, and that's never going to change. So drop the fabricated idea that ideas are what make you, and that action is what creates results, right?
Yeah.
And you've still got your own ideas that'll never be an AI, that are in your head about the way your life is. And
Yeah.
that's very different. I think AI will never take that away.
Right.
But don't count on being paid for your ideas in the next 10 years, right?
I just think, the point of this is wrapping AI with you to help you build something together. So that's the big thing, because so many of us are just seeing it as a tool, and it's not. It really is a partner. So I do have some takeaways, Dave, I want to share with us, unless you have anything else.
No, I will listen to your takeaways, and I always have some random thought that I'll drop in at the end.
Yeah. And with the tech companies moving at such a quick pace, and we're talking like big leaders like Elon Musk and Google working on Gemini and Microsoft, and there's so much going on behind the scenes that I'm just keeping up with, and it's a large movement. It's a lot of politics also behind the scenes. There's a lot of money being moved, including Amazon, AWS. There's a lot of movement, but let's keep it simple for right now as we're moving through, because I think that this episode is built on reminding you to help make a mind shift into the AI world and really leveling up 2025, taking your New Year's resolutions, giving it to an AI and say, how can I stay on track? Really, here's my schedule. Give AI your schedule. Say, here's my schedule. Build a custom GPT for yourself and say, here's my schedule. How can you help me stay on track? Because the New Year's resolution is XYZ. I want to learn to play guitar. I want to lose weight. I want to become an ultra marathon. Like, what do you want to do? And help it make that schedule. So anyway, the takeaways here are, number one, automate the boring. Let AI handle repetitive tasks so you can focus on what matters. Number two, embrace human-like tech. Use AI to enhance connection, not replace it. Number three, build skills that win by staying ahead and being adaptable, creative, and be great at connecting with people. Be great at connecting with people. And number four, think bigger than AI, or think bigger with AI. It's not a threat. It's here to solve big problems and scale with us in our life. So let's be on the journey with it. That's really my takeaways, Dave.
And I think from a personal level, just experiment with it. We're at a time where you can't really break anything, right? The world isn't going to stop spinning if you put in the wrong prompt or think of something. And it's that familiarity that's going to start to, breed an understanding of the awesome power that is coming. And there is no stopping it at this point, right? So the cat is out of the bag.
Yeah, cat's out of the
and
bag.
AI is not going to put the cat back. There'll obviously be some government things that happen, and we're already seeing some trade wars going on with elements of tech and technology and those sorts of things that drive AI. And those are human problems, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully maybe AI will be applied to some of the government and in the very near future to solve what is easily solvable problems. It's just humans are in the way. So
Yeah.
So there we go with the end of the earth. I'm already talking it. So
Well, let's wrap this up, because today's episode on Embers Rising was really all about helping you find a mind shift for adopting AI into the new year. And remember, 2025 isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about taking bold action and redesigning your reality with curiosity, creativity, and courage, and having fun with AI. That's the most important, having it help us do incredible things out there. So, reminder, AI isn't here to replace us. What makes us human, right? It's here to amplify it. And together we can create a future worth celebrating. And I think that's really important. So if this episode sparked something in you, don't keep it for yourself. Share it with a friend. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We would love that. Join the conversation in Apple Podcast, YouTube. Rate us on Spotify. We would love that. If you have any ideas for us on who we should bring on future episodes, or topics that we should talk about, DM us. Let us know. We're here for you. You can always connect with us on any of our channels out there. And our core mission is to keep pushing boundaries, keep chasing big dreams, and most importantly, reminding you to keep rising. And that's what we like to say. And we always end with our happiness to you through that lens. Aloha.
aloha.